all of the momentum going Gordon's way. Players on the draw midfield and finally controlled by McKeon. McKeon, an excellent player on the draw this season and in his career. Spinning, reversing field, looking for a shot in front, and it's deflected wide.
That was a heck of a move by James Fee along the corner of the net there. A little behind the back spin. Again, Cody Greenwald on top of his game.
Locero trying to find space. Comes middle. Shot scores! Salve Regina gets on the board. Cam Brazil scores, and it's 5-1.
And that good persistence by Salve's offense right there, continuing to attack the net, even though it's not really going in so far early on. Great persistence by the team.
We'll see if that sparks this Seahawks squad. And that assist there by Nick Locero ties a single season record for assists.
What a milestone to get the first goal of the game on. Salve looking to build on that goal, get some momentum, hop right back into this game through the middle now.
Charging in front, shot saved by, oh, it scoots through! It goes 5-hole on Nick Greenwald, and Salve Regina scores back-to-back goals. Alex Hennessy.
Good eyes by Hennessy there. He was looking downfield the entire time, Andrew. Didn't take his eyes off the net. Saw he had isolation, ran by his man, put in the goal.
Greenwald went down to save it, but it scooted 5-hole, and now it's 5-2, and here come the Seahawks.
We talked about Salve trying to, string together some goals here, get some momentum back. I'd say they found the momentum, Andrew.
Ball loose near midfield. Players still fighting for it, and it's taken by the Scots. Big hit in a collision, and it's taken by Salve Regina. Now Salve Regina with the aggressiveness setting the tone. Looking for a shot in front, feeding shot saved by Greenwald.
It looked like Nicholas Cicero almost thought that shot was going in. That was a beautiful pass by James Fee on the side.
Dominic Dantena trying to work in the offensive zone. He loses it. Now Gordon gets it back. Charging down the strong right side, shooting and scoring! That looked like Roger Evans. And it's 6-2 Gordon.
Looks like Evans just beat his man on the right side. Salve got caught on a pick by their own defender.
Unassisted goal for Roger Evans, and it's 6-2.
Andrew, conceding that goal right after you just scored a goal is no way to come back into this game. Salve's got to settle it down again, get momentum back on their side.
Right now, from the get-go, Gordon was not scared of this Salve Regina team.
You could tell coming out of warm-ups, fired up, hitting each other on the helmets, ready to go, ready to do war.
And Thor Rasmussen takes it strong down the right side. Now Rasmussen working his way in front. Feeding back to Utz. Utz, a long shot, scores! Michael Utz. So 2 goals for Salve Regina, and then Gordon answers right back. And it's 7-2. 10:57 to go in the second quarter.
Yeah, it looks like nothing there Salve's defense could do on that one. That was just a heck of a shot by Gordon. These guys brought their snipers out today, Andrew. Putting lasers on the net right now. It's really going to be hard for the Seahawks to keep pace with Gordon right now.
You want to get back in this game, it's going to have to start right here on the draw. We'll see what McKeon can do. Ball loose on the draw and taken by McKeon. McKeon working low shot, saved by Greenwald. That was a submarine-like shot. Underhanded and about 3 inches off the ground. Now Greenwald will move full 20 yards out of his crease and feed up the right side. Greenwald still a good 30 yards away from his crease. Pass on up ahead into the offensive zone for Gordon. Now the ball coming behind the net. Now to Michael Utz. Utz in the corner. Trying to make a move on David Mavilla. A whistle and an offensive foul.
We can see Peter Kutcherowicz for Gordon on the sideline getting taped up there by the trainer. Looks like he has an open gash in the side here. That's just a picture of the physical game going on between these two teams right now, Andrew.
I think he was the one who laid that hit out here before that had to take the seat.
A little bit of blood not stopping any of these teams today.
And now a turnover on Salve Regina. Very nice quick pace to this game. Ball moved out near midfield. 7-2 the score with 9:40 to play in the second quarter. Gordon with the lead and in control right now. Low shot deflected high. But it comes right back to a Gordon player. Thor moves to Utz. Utz being muscled out of the way. Stephen Russell applying pressure. They move back to Thor Rasmussen. Ball comes behind the net. Faking the outside shot. Now driving in front. Shooting and saved initially by Watkins. Had to go to the ground for that one.
Yeah, good job by Watkins. Like you said, getting low, making his body a wall, not allowing that pass to go through anywhere.
Dan Parks trying to cross midfield, gets laid down to the ground, loses the ball, still in possession, and he lobs into the offensive end. It comes in front. It trickles in. A long outlet pass. There was a penalty, delayed penalty. Parks just fired it into the offensive end. It skipped up and went past Greenwald, but they blew the whistle and called the play dead.
Yeah, it looked like that was a goal. Nice little nonchalant pass there. Ball sneakily got by the goalie, but luckily for Gordon, that flag was thrown first. See if Salve Regina can take advantage of the man advantage for them now. Start chipping away at this lead by Gordon.
Salve working around the perimeter, now charging the net, now feeding back to the wing, now in front. Shot scores! Sharp Jones with the long distance shot.
And Andrew, you knew as soon as Sharp Jones got that ball, he set his feet, squared himself towards the net, and fired that ball. No way he wasn't coming away with a goal on that possession. Great eyes by his teammates there to find him isolated at the top. Easy pass, finds an easy goal.
Jones' accuracy was razor sharp that time. (7-3) with 8:18 to play in the second quarter.
Something I'm not used to seeing right now, Andrew. Curtis McKeon not winning every faceoff per usual. I mean, not per usual, excuse me, for Salve. Usually Mr. Automatic up in the middle. Gordon doing a good job of neutralizing one of Salve's strong points.
Ball being held out near midfield. Thor Rasmussen being pressured. Knocked back into the midfield. Being pressured by McKeon. Now Rasmussen escapes. Kicks back out to the point. Charging and reversing field there is Sam Spellman. Now Spellman feeds the left-hand side. Ball moved back behind the net. Utz holding there. Utz Trying to make a move. Spins back to the inside, looking for a shot. Shooting, saved by Watkins. Outlet pass, though, is turned over, taken by Sam Spellman.
Can't do that if you're Salve. You do a great job defending the shot. Got to move that possession a lot smarter. Can't throw away those turnovers like that, especially down by 4.
Roger Evans back to Spellman. William Kennard now. Back to Spellman. Spellman tripped up at the midfield stripe. Remains in control of the ball. Shot on goal, a good 2 feet wide, trickling out of bounds. That'll be Salve Regina ball.
Andrew, we know a big part of Salve's game is assisting each other. Salve's got to see if they can string together some smart passes like they did on those previous goals here. Isolation's not the way for the Seahawks to win.
Ball lobbed up near midfield, can't be controlled, and Sam Spellman takes it away. David Mavilla couldn't control that ball. Now feeds to the left side. Shot scored! Michael Utz with the quick release. And it's 8-3. 6:04 to play in the second quarter.
And that shot was just simply too fast for the freshman Watkins to cover.
Salve Regina calls for a timeout. We'll take it. 6:04 to play in the second quarter. Salve trailing 8-3. So coming out of the timeout, the Salve Regina was looking for answers during that timeout. I think one of the answers is winning a faceoff right now.
Yeah, definitely winning a faceoff and getting some pressure off of this defense. Salve's got to get more time in the offensive possession.
Scrum forming near midfield. No one in clear possession of the ball yet. It's loose on the ground. McKeon fighting for it. He's in a race for it. McKeon scoops it up. And he'll race quickly into the offensive end. McKeon loading up, looking for a shot. Low shot. Trickles just wide of the net, and it goes out of bounds.
McKeon unable to take advantage of two Gordon players tripping over each other right there. McKeon's got the speed for that kind of breakaway. That's the shot he wants. Just unable to hit.
Salve holding the ball behind the net. Salve, Regina trying to get back in this game, trailing 8-3 in the second quarter. Reversing field, looking for space. Now moved back behind the net. Lobbing to the corner here. Double spin move, low shot off the ground, up and in! James Fee.
And I believe Nicholas Cicero just broke his own record that he just tied today with that assist.
If that was assisted by Nick Lachero, he's just set a new single-season record for assists, which is incredibly impressive considering this is only... So they don't give Lachero the assist. But nonetheless, the fact that he's even tied in this, the 8th game of the year, a single-season assist record, is very impressive. That record will be broken, and he will have a very, very high total by the end of the year.
That was a beautiful feed to James Fee over there. Great shot in the corner.
Ball loose in front and taken by McKeon. Chad Hollandshade behind the net looking for space, just shoots way high. And it goes out of bounds. It'll stay Salve ball.
Yeah, that was a really strong shot. A lot of power behind that. He sort of winded up right there. Just missing far right on that snipe.
Lachero working his way in front, trying to feed, go up top.
Good idea by Los Cicero right there. Just not a good shot behind the back. Not a high conversion rate on that one.
Lachero holding behind the net. Kicking back out to the far point. Moved back near midfield. Eric Backus now puts the moves on, working his way to the middle. Loading up, firing, and scoring! Nick Backus scores! And it's 8-5.
Good job by Backus shooting across his body, rifling that. He used the Gordon defenders as a pick right there. Cody Greenwald just not able to locate the ball. Great goal by Salve Regina.
Eric Backus scores, and another timeout here called by Gordon. We'll take it. 4:09 to play in the second quarter. 4:09 to go in the second quarter. Players on the draw at midfield. McKean in a fight for it, and it's won back into the Gordon zone and taken there by Dominic Dantana III.
And Andrew, I'm sure the message on the Gordon timeout right there was to stop the bleeding, slow down, play their style. A lot of quick attacks as we see right now.
Roger Evans shoots wide, and it goes out of bounds. It'll stay Gordon ball. Ryan Utz with it. Finds Michael. Return to Matt Dantana. Now Roger Evans again at the point near midfield. 3:36 to play in the second quarter. Gordon jumped out to the early 5-0 lead. Salve Regina battling back. Shot in front, scores! Jordan Heckelman.
Seems like every time Salve Regina finally starts to claw back into this game, Andrew, Gordon just knows where and when to shoot that ball. take advantage of the freshman goalie.
And the long-distance shots have really been the problem so far.
Yeah, it seems like Watkins having a hard time picking the ball out of the stick from Gordon. Some real lasers being tossed around the field right now.
3.5 minutes to play in the second quarter, and it's 9-5 Gordon. Salve has not let up more than 12 goals this season. They've already let up 9 late in the second quarter. Dantana holding at midfield, cradling, trying to pass up ahead for Thor Rasmussen. He can't control it, but now Rasmussen picks it off the ground, feeds behind the net. Michael Utz fakes a centering pass, now comes out to midfield. Thor Rasmussen. Great name to have if you play any kind of sport.
Thor is a pretty authenticative name.
Michael Utz spinning, trying to verse field, loses his footing. The ball's loose on the ground in front. Players in a scramble for it. A flag is thrown. 2 flags are thrown. And we'll have a stoppage in play.
A little extra pushing after the whistle by Gordon there. Some Salve Regina players calling for an extra foul. That's not going to happen. This is just an emotional, physical game. There's going to be a lot of bumping and bruising in between whistles.
So all 3 referees huddled in the Salve Regina zone. And we'll see what we get here. With 2:25 to play in the second quarter.
Referee still trying to make a call here. Trying to figure out who to assess the penalty to, it looks like.
Wouldn't be surprised if there was penalties on both teams, but they're trying to determine if one happened during play and one happened after the play, or maybe there's 2 penalties. Obviously, there could be 2 penalties. Sometimes referees just, they see one ref throw a flag and they all get happy. Yeah, we get to throw the flag. You see that in football a lot. When on a false start, all 5 refs will throw their flags in the air. So we'll see what the call is here. So referee jogs over near the scorer's table. So they call a cross-check on Salve Regina. And another personal foul here on number 25 for Gordon. Unnecessary roughness for Ryan Utz, so he'll take a seat. So that's what they were trying to sort out, is who the penalties were on and how they would assess, because they were penalties on both teams.
Yeah, there was a little too much pushing right there by Gordon.
Shot in front, scooting behind the net. Awkward bounce on the ball, but Watkins tracks it down behind his own net, and now we'll look to clear. Now just noticing that Salve Regina has changed goalies. Brian Farina in goal now for Salve Regina. Shot scores for Dan Parks. 9-6 the score now, with 1:56 to play in the second quarter.
Beautiful job in transition by Dan Parks. Notice he had a few Gordon players with their back towards him. Fires that shot from long range, able to finish.
And Salve Regina within 3, and Leon Watkins gets pulled here, letting up, as we said, 9 goals in, not even 2 quarters yet, and puts the sophomore out there, and Brian Farina. Do you think maybe that experience will pay off? We were talking about it seemed like a lot of long balls. Watkins maybe not able to track there as much.
Yeah, Excuse me, Andrew. I mean, he may look like a sophomore on paper for Regina, but 1 year makes a big difference experience-wise. So Salve Regina sort of reaching down for a little something extra here. Hopefully they can get a stop by Brian, get Salve Regina's offense back into the game.
Ooh, and a double collision at midfield. Ross Burr gets crunched. And now Salve Regina still on attack with a delayed penalty coming. Crossing over, shot in front, wide behind the net, and it goes out of bounds. And now we'll have a stoppage of play, and these penalties will be assessed. Ross Burr got rid of the ball and then got sandwiched. Cross check on Peter Kovacevic.
And Kovacevic actually just came back into the game off of that abdomen injury. So it's a shame to see him have to go right back to the sideline. Got a little too antsy to get back in that game. A little too hard of a check right there by Kovacevic.
Yeah, Burr was already getting checked down low, and he went up high, and that's going to be a penalty anytime. Salve Regina trying to fight back in this game. Ball comes to the near side. Now they work to the far side. Now in front. Can't control it, and it's scooped up by Greenwald. One minute left in the second quarter. Salve trailing 9-6. Outlet pass can't be controlled by Dominic D'Antona, and it'll be Salve Regina ball deep in Gordon territory.
Salve's got to take advantage of that turnover here. Really need to attack the net, put in a goal in this last 50 seconds.
Nick Lachero feeds Eric Backus. Now in front. Shot on net, saved by Greenwald.
Heck of a save by Greenwald. I thought that one was going to sneak by. Good job to get low, create a barrier out of his body right there, block the ball.
27 seconds remaining in the second quarter. Ball loose on the ground and taken by Salve Regina, knocked away again. Now a scrum forms between 4 Gordon players and 1 Salve Regina player fighting for it, and it's taken away by Gordon. 3-on-2 for Gordon. Michael Utz shoots and he scores! 9.7 seconds to go in the second quarter, and Michael Utz gives Gordon a 10-6 lead.
It seems like both these goalies to the Seahawks are just a step behind on these mid-range to long-range lasers by Gordon. Salve Regina at the half has got to figure out a way to get in front of these shooters and create some chaos.
Salve trailing by 4, 10-6. 9.7 seconds to go in the second quarter. Ball loose on the ground. McKeon fighting for it. Jostling for position. Players still fighting for it. Ball at midfield. A penalty gets called.
This is going to be on McKeon for a check to the face of a Gordon player.
So we'll see what... So a cross check called on Ross Burr. That penalty will be assessed in the third quarter. We reach halftime. We'll take it. The score at 10-6. So players returning to the field for the start of the third quarter. The score, Gordon 10, Salve Regina 6. And a penalty coming for Ross Burr. He got called for a penalty right at the end of the second quarter. So Salve will be down a man to start this quarter.
Yeah, not a good penalty over there by Salve right at the end of the half. It's not something you want to do, give up a man advantage as the clock's running out.
Shot on net, deflected wide.
Eight's back in net.
Yep. And Andrew Watkins is back in net for the Seahawks.
Have to give the freshman a little bit of rest, clear his head, come back out here, and hopefully shut out Gordon now. The underdog did have the advantage in the first half.
Long shot from the point, scores! Michael Utz scored at the end of the second for Gordon, and he scores to start the third, and it's 11-6.
And Andrew Utz was all alone on that possession right there. He could have stopped and untied his shoe. He was had no one around him.
31 seconds in. And the ball's going to be right back in Gordon's possession. Thor Rasmussen. I just like saying that name. Working down the right side. He'll move in behind the net. Cradlin move to the far side. Michael Utz. Return to Ryan Utz. Ball moved back up at the point. Matt Dontana trying to shoot. Saved by Watkins.
And Dontana just burned by Alex Flynn on that thing. Great job by Watkins to hold his own. Salve's got to move the ball in transition here.
Salve holding behind their net. Chad Hollandshade.
Good clear to Eric Backus right there by Salve. Got to slow things down, take a step back, analyze the defense by Gordon, make a move towards the net.
Backus spinning, looking for room, kicking back out near the point. Charging strong was James Fee. Shot from McKeon is deflected wide and out of bounds. It'll stay Salve ball. Salve trailing by 5 here, 11-6. Being pressured. Getting it back out to McKeon. McKeon reverses field. Works his way middle. Shoots. Blocked away. Saved by Greenwald. Picked up. Almost picked up by Hollandshade. And then we have a whistle. And it's going to stay Salve ball.
Looked like Hollandshade was expecting a little contact on that one. Dropped the pickup ground ball.
Work his way to the middle. Shot scores! Nick Lucero scores. And it's 11-7.
You can see Lucero pumped up after that goal, Andrew. Really trying to will his team back into this game himself. Great effort running around the net, getting Gordon to watch the ball. Great goal by Lucero.
12:45 to play in the third quarter. Draw coming at midfield and taken by Gordon. Initially, it's loose on the ground. Salve still fighting for it, being muscled out of the way and finally controlled by the Seahawks. Alex Flynn doing a good job there to stick with it.
Yeah, good cross pass to Steven Russell as well. Salve going to try and work the ball down the right side of the field here.
Steven Russell is holding and now enters deep into the zone. Salve working its way behind the net. Lucero working his way in the middle, just spins and throws a shot that's blocked away. Picked up by a Salve player. Loose in front, shot scores! James Fee falling to the ground, shoots and scores.
What an effort by Fee, tripping over other players, running through other people. Great job coming up with that loose ball. That's the heart and will needed to make your team come back in this game, Andrew.
That narrows the gap to 3. 11-8 with 12:02 to go here in the third quarter.
We can see Salve Regina starting to get a little bit of their mojo back here in the second half.
Salve can't be happy with giving up that goal to start the third quarter, but Patrick Cooney has to be a little more happy with the effort that his team's showing thus far. Ball loose on the ground, now enters the defensive zone. Players fighting for it, and is controlled by Gordon. Spinning, throwing it, just picked off on the ground by Stephen Russell.
Another uncharacteristic face-off loss by McKeon for Salve. Luckily, he hasn't made too much of a difference today.
Stephen Russell floating at the line. That moves back to McKeon. McKeon walks into the offensive zone. Gets the return pass. Now moves back out to Backus. Backus feeds on the far side behind the net. Returns to McKeon at the point. Back to Backus. Dan Parks charging. Return to McKeon. James Fee. Fee holding, trying to work his way middle. Scoots through two players. Nifty move and moves it back out to the point.
Fee did a good job of trying to draw two players out to sort of create space in the middle of the field to get a pass open to his teammate.
Shot goes wide and out of bounds. It's still Salve ball. Move back. Shot in front, just wide, and it goes out of bounds. It'll stay Salve ball. That shot coming from Dan Parks.
Good idea by Parks. Continue to attack the net. Don't let up. Salve continuing to stay on the offensive.
McKeon reversing field back into the offensive end. Holding out on the wings. McKeon on the wing. Shovels back into Hollandshade. Hollandshade returned to McKeon. McKeon holding. Now enters the offensive end. Back to Hollandshade. Hollandshade trying to look for space, driving strong to his left. Just throws a shot on goal, and it's saved by Corey Greenwald. Now Gordon on the attack.
Good job by Salve getting back here.
Mike Egan lobs in.
Good prevention of that transition defense as well by the Seahawks.
Mike Utz out on the perimeter. Ball moved back to the point. Roger Evans with it. Return to William Kennard. Kennard gets bumped. Strong down the right side, looking for space, moves back behind the net. Utz holding.
It's a great job by Alex Flynn to stay with his man there. Again, 35 for Gordon trying to come in towards the middle of the field. Great job by Flynn to make Gordon flush that ball back up top of the zone.
Roger Evans again holding at the point near midfield. Now enters the offensive end, trying to go strong to his right. Being pressured there. Just turns, throws a shot, deflected wide by Watkins.
Good job by Salve's defense again, not letting Gordon get a good, comfortable look at the net.
Gordon still in possession here. Leading 18-8. Looking in front, shot, deflected, saved by Watkins. Point blank shot knocked away by Watkins. Charging strong, losing the ball, picked off by the Seahawks. And then a foul called on Salve Regina. They give it right back to Gordon. Late foul call.
Yeah, it's a shame. Salve Regina had a great job on that defensive possession. A little bit of a bailout by the referees there towards Gordon.
Sam Spellman. Back to Evans. Now into the offensive zone to Kennard. Kennard trying to go to work. Falls to the ground, just throws it on net, saved by Watkins.
Salve Regina really bearing down on defense these past few possessions. You can tell the Seahawks really want to get back into this game.
Russell avoiding contact. Looking for an entry pass. Lobs in. Alex Flynn with it. Now feeds behind the net. Holland Shade. Move to Sharp Jones. Sharp Jones trying to lead it for Cam Brazil, and it's just wide and taken by Gordon.
Good idea on the give and go by Salve, just unable to hold on to that pass.
Long shot from the point by Spellman, turned aside by Watkins. Ross Burr. Now they feed it again to Alex Flynn. Flynn in the zone, Holland Shade. They move it behind the net. Holding, charging in front, Curley looking for a shot. Return to the point, shot saved by Greenwald. Greenwald on his knees saved that shot. (11-8) the score. Gordon with the lead. 6:33 to play in the third quarter.
What effort by Nick Lucero right there, trying to basically play defense on two separate attackers down there. You got to credit Salve getting the ball back to Lucero right there.
And the pressure by Salve Regina forcing a turnover. David Mavilla moves in the offensive end. McKeon looking for space. He'll back out. Hand off to James Fee. James Fee will trot into the offensive end. Move to Holland Shade on the far right-hand side. Holland Shade, return to Fee. Fee passes to McKeon. McKeon back to Fee.
Salve again going to see if they can try and get some cutters towards the middle of the net here. Find an open man for a high percentage shot.
Holland Shade stutter steps into the offensive zone. Spinning away from contact. Looking to go middle with it. Cradling. Looking for a shot. Loses the ball. Loose in the ground in front. And picked up by Gordon. Finally taken by Salve Regina. Shot scored!
Great awareness by McKeon to pick up that loose ball. Half the Gordon defenders had no idea where that ball was. McKeon scoops it up, fires it in for the easy goal.
It looked like Matt Dantana had picked up the ball. He must have lost it. McKeon on the spot put it in the net. And it's a 2-goal game, 11-9. 5:34 to play in the third quarter.
That's why they have the captain out there, number 4 for Salve Regina. Great awareness by the floor general.
McKeon once again being muscled off the spot, and it's taken by Gordon. Jordan Heckelman racing towards the middle, now back behind the net. Pass comes there, return out to Utz. That's Michael. Return to Thor Rasmussen out near midfield.
Salve's doing a heck of a job locking up on these Gordon attacks now. Really tightening up their defense, not allowing any space for these shooters.
Centering pass just goes wide, out of bounds, and it'll be Salve Regina ball.
Yeah, another possession of great defense by the Seahawks, Andrew. Really came out in the second half with determination in the thought process to get it done in the defensive end first to allow some easy offense.
4:43 to go here in the third quarter. Salve Regina trailing by 2, 11-9. Watkins, good 30 yards out of his crease, feeds middle, racing in on goal, looking for a shot, still controlling. Ball popped up in the air, taken by Greenwald. And now Josh Houston trying to fight for position. A flag is thrown. Ball's loose on the ground. Taken by Salve Regina, and the whistle is blown. It's looking like it's going to be a Salve Regina penalty. Penalty coming on Sharp Jones. And he'll have to serve a minute of penalty time. .4:13 to go in the third quarter, rather. 11-9 the score. Gordon leading as they have this entire game.
Salve is right in the position they want to be. They've came out with strong defense. See if the Seahawks can come away with another stop on the defensive end.
Evans back to Utz. Utz on the far corner. Shot wide. Blocked. Deflected somewhere in the middle by a Seahawk player. Not sure. I don't even think that one got on net. Now Roger Evans.
A Salve player square in the chest.
Utz on the other side. Feeding middle. Looking for a shot. Scores!
That one was
Ryan Utz. Michael to Ryan. And it's 12-9. 3:30 to play in the third. So a little brotherly love there for the Gordon Scots. And they have a 3-point lead, 12-9 with 3:30 to play in the third.
Yeah, they were both on the same page on that give and go, allowing a nice easy lane to the net.
Ball loose on the ground, taken by Dominic Dantana, and then he loses it, and it's taken by Salve Regina, Nick Lachero. Curtis McKeon holding out at midfield. Just shovels it on the ground for Eric Backus. Now Backus will charge in the offensive end. Feeding middle, reversing field, looking for a shot, and he scores! James Fee scores!
Beautiful pass by Backus to find a streaking Fee towards the middle. Beautiful positioning by 32 of Salve Regina. Seahawks are right back into this game. Like I said, Andrew, it seems like neither team wants to give any bit of leeway here.
Early on, we talked about Gordon seemed to be the aggressor. Salve Regina came out a little lethargic. They were getting pushed around. They got down big early. Now I think both of these teams, this has turned into a heavyweight fight. Both teams throwing punches. Both teams responding. Still a 2-goal deficit for Salve Regina, but they have to feel they're very much in the fight now.
Yeah, and Salve really just needed to correct a few defensive issues at the half. They've taken care of that. We know the Seahawks can score, so we'll see if the Seahawks are ready to do battle for the rest of this half here.
2:46 to go in the third quarter. Eric Backus takes control of the faceoff, and he'll set up position the offensive end. Move to Nick Lachero. Lachero holding. Moves to Curtis McKeon. Back to Lachero. Lachero. Back to McKeon. McKeon to the far side. Back to Lachero. Lachero feeds on the left side to Backus. Backus, a strong shot. Saved by Greenwald.
What a save by Greenwald. Kept his eyes strictly on Backus.
I need to get to that outlet. Thank you.
Ball down in the corner here for Gordon. Matt Dantana holding, can't control, being fought for with Salve Regina player. Dantana still trying to control it, and he does, and he'll back out behind the net. Trying to feed it in front, picked off by Russell. Loose on the ground, shuffled, saved by Watkins.
Lightning quick reaction time by Watkins, and a good clear out of his own zone as well.
Long outlet pass was deflected out of bounds, so Salve Regina will take it at midfield.
These are some hard shots coming at the freshman Watkins this afternoon. He's doing a phenomenal job sort of settling down in the second half.
James Fee cradling. He hands back to Backus. Eric Backus steps into the offensive end, now steps back out to midfield. Moves to Cam Brazil. Brazil to McKeon. Back to Hollandshade. Hollandshade trying to feed middle. That shot not there. It's trickling out towards the corners. Backus in a scramble for it, and he controls it and will move behind the net. Lachero back to Backus. Backus holds deep in the offensive end behind the net.
Smart move by Salve here. Slow things down, set up their offensive sets. So they need some attackers and midfielder, man, that cut towards the middle of the net here.
Backus trying to feed front. Ball loose on the ground behind the net. Two players fighting for it. Lucero fighting for it. It's still loose on the ground. Two Gordon players and a Salve player back there. They call a foul on Salve Regina. It'll be Gordon ball. 24 seconds to play in this third quarter.
Gordon had a streaking midman going right down the middle of the field. Salve Regina very fortunate they didn't.
Evans turns it over. Ball still loose on the ground. And a foul against Gordon gives the ball to Salve Regina. 9.1 seconds. Alex Hennessy lobs it for Russell. Russell just fires a long shot at the buzzer. Hits off the far wall. Out of bounds. And we reach the end of the third quarter with the score 12-10. Salve Regina trails Gordon College, and we'll take a timeout. Players returning to the field. 15 minutes on the clock. We have one more quarter left to play here at Brown University. Salve Regina trailing Gordon College 12-10.
Both these teams are in the go here. McKeon really needs to find success on this face-off.
Ball loose on the ground and taken by Gordon College. Dominic Dantana takes it, feeds it up to Thor Rasmussen.
So he's got to do a good job of keeping the ball on the perimeter here on defense. Can't let Gordon get any cuts towards the middle of the net here.
Rasmussen sprinting to his left. Now back to his right. Holding behind the net. Charging in front. Underhanded shovel pass. Intended for Ryan Utz. Trickles out near the sideline. And he just scoops it back in. And it's taken by Steven Russell. Now Russell on the run at midfield.
It was not a smart pass by the Gordon attacker there. Just sort of handing over possession to Salve.
They feed it into the offensive end. As the winds pick up here. Salve Regina on their first attack of this quarter. They find McKeon. McKeon charging, winds up, shoots, and it's saved by Greenwald.
That's the shot that the Seahawks are looking for. McKeon had a wide open lane towards the net there. That's his type of shot, about mid-range, 10 feet out from the net.
Steve Turpin feeds to Michael Utes. Back to Spellman. Now they feed it into the corner. Gordon working it behind the net. Now they move out to Utz. Now Evans trots into the offensive end. Being pushed by Dan Parks. They feed it behind the net. Jake Martin, who got the scoring started here for Gordon College, holding behind the net. Martin charging to his right, reverses field, looking to go middle, short side, taken by Gordon, and they score! Ryan Utz scores. He caught the ball about a foot away from Andy Watkins. Cradled, faked a shot, could have gone anywhere he liked, and he buried it. 13-10 the score now.
And Andrew, that pump fake completely froze about 4 Salve defenders there. Nothing you can do when an attacker gets that close to the net.
12:57 to play in the fourth quarter.
They just gave it to Salve. No ground ball.
Ball awarded to Salve Regina. McKeon will take it. Shoot, saved by Greenwald. Taken by Nick Lachero, though, behind the net. Lachero just will turn and shoot. Lachero hits the deck. Ball goes out of bounds. It'll stay Seahawk ball.
It was a great second effort by Lachero there, trying to stay with that rebound from McKeon. So he's got to find a way to pound the net here. Down by 3.
Hollandshade spinning, reversing field. Looking for an opening or a cutter. Nothing there. They move back behind the net. Now Nick Lachero. Lachero looking for space. Trying to feed it to the far side. Hollandshade shoots and he scores!
Beautiful find for number 3, Hollandshade out in the corner. Again, that's Hollandshade's shot. Beautiful feeder on the net. Have the Gordon players frozen, flat-footed. Beautiful pass. And that's Salve Regina's game, Andrew. 2 or 3 passes every possession results in an easy goal.
That sets the record.
And Nick Lachero, with that goal, has now set the single season record for assists.
Like you said, Andrew, only
It's
8
the
games
eighth
into
game.
the season. Unbelievable record-setting pace there by Cicero.
13-11 the score. Nick Lachero.
The gate was locked, so I was like,
Ball taken at midfield, and a penalty is called. Roger Evans got knocked to the ground. Laundry on the turf, and this will be a penalty against the Seahawks. They call a foul on Alex Hennessy for unnecessary roughness. So he'll serve 60 seconds. Now Gordon will be back on attack. Shot from the point, wide, going out of bounds. It'll stay Gordon ball. Roger Evans holding. Now Matt Dantana being pressured. Ball comes back into the zone. Michael Utz trying to feed it middle, and it's scooped up by Salve Regina. Billy Sampson with it. He gets knocked to the ground. Ball loose on the ground. Scooped up by Gordon.
No cause, ground ball 2.
Now another ground ball. They call it Gordon calls a timeout. We'll take it. 11:32 to play here in the fourth and final quarter. The score 13-11. Gordon in possession. Still with the man advantage. 13-11 the score. Ball comes to the far side. Saved by Watkins.
A strong shot defended by the freshman Watkins on that one.
Watkins has struggled with those long balls today, but locked down here in the second half.
Good job by Salve bringing the ball up on their own pace here. Now they have a man advantage.
Here comes Eric Backus. Backus charging, winding up, feeding back to the point. James Fee with it, moves back to McKeon.
Fee thought about letting that go from deep. Good idea to pass that back out. Let McKeon run the floor. Excuse me.
Dan Parks charging to the right, shooting. It bounces straight up in the air, heading towards the corner. Players racing for it. It'll stay Salve ball. Nick Lachero takes it up on the far left-hand side.
Good idea by Parks to get a shot on goal right there. A lot of white jerseys around the net here.
Charging around front, looking for a shot. Lobbing, it's deflected back towards the corner. Lachero will retreat over there once again.
Salve's got to find a way to make this possession into the goal here, Andrew. It's been a long, long possession around behind the Gordon net.
Hollandshade holding. Trying to work strong to his right. Cradling, reverses field, ball loose on the ground. Players fighting for it. Eric Backus in there scrapping for the Seahawks. It's still loose on the ground and finally taken by Gordon College. It's bumped again, though. Loose on the ground. It's still being deflected back. It'll go out of bounds, and they say Seahawk ball. Josh Cashin almost had it. Ball comes in front. Shot saved by Greenwald. Hollandshade with the quick shot right in front. And the Seahawks take it away again. Feeding the far side. McKeon can't handle it. It goes just above his head. He goes to the ground to save it. No foul's called. Now they call the foul.
Yeah, McKeon was clearly shoved to the ground on that cross check. That's not going to fly.
Backus finds Fee. Now Nick Lachero behind the net. Finds Hollandshade on the far side. Return to McKeon.
McKeon, good idea to slow things down.
There's
Nice
McKeon.
spin.
Slips his man, charging toward the middle. Underhanded shot, and he scores! 13-12 with 9:02 to play.
What a move by Curtis McKeon. That's why he's got the C on his jersey, Andrew. Beautiful spin move towards the middle of the field. Great mid-range sniper.
Just a little underhand flick of the wrist from Curtis McKeon, and Salve is within one.
Sophomore Cody Greenwald had no chance on that laser by McKeon. Beautiful shot placement right there. Catch him in the blind side.
This is the closest Salve has been since it was 1-0. Players fighting on the draw. McKeon comes away from it in the brawl. Feeds in front to Fee. Fee on Dan Parks, rather, running with it. Feels contact. Feeds it in front for Fee. Fee's shot can't score. Greenwald covers up in front of the net. A scramble for it. Ball loose on the ground and finally taken by Greenwald.
If he had his selection of shots right there, decided to go low towards the ankles. Beautiful job by Cody to make that save.
The Rasmussen can't handle it, but it bounces right to Matt Dantana. Dantona. Now they move the ball behind the net. Ryan Utz to his brother Michael. Back to Thor. Thor doesn't see a Salve player coming from the backside. Now he escapes. And Gordon will work it around the perimeter, and now behind the net to Utz.
And you'd think with Gordon almost surrendering this lead right now, we'd see a sense of offensive urgency from that, Andrew. Not much from Gordon so far in the second half.
Ryan Utz looking for position, passes back to his brother Michael. Michael moves back to Thor Rasmussen. Salve Regina extending a little bit of pressure here. Hollandshade. Rather, Alex Gomes out in front. Matt Dantona trying to escape. Shuffles to the far side, looking for a shot. Saved by Watkins in front. Salve Regina can tie on this possession.
Good feed by Watkins, finding Alex Flynn streaking through the middle now.
Hollandshade behind the net. Finds Fee. Fee turns the back. Feeds middle. Can't control it in the shot, but then it's taken by 24. It bounces off the ground and heads out of bounds, and they say Gordon ball. Salve Regina players arguing that was a shot, not a pass. It'll be Gordon ball.
Yeah, and Fee was looking, definitely trying to flip that ball up off the ground towards the net.
7:10 to go here in the fourth quarter. Gordon player charging middle. His shot scores. Roger Evans.
Gordon taking advantage of that big deflating play, that deflating call rather, for Gordon to get that ball back. They take advantage. Transition goal.
2-point swing. One you didn't get, one they get, and it's 14-12. 6:59 to play.
You got to credit that possession staying alive to Thor Rasmussen for Gordon. Beautiful job taking on multiple Salve defenders to keep that play alive.
McKeon at the drive midfield. Ball loose on the ground, on the floor. McKeon still fighting for it. It's deflected, knocked around, and finally taken by Salve Regina. Here comes Alex Hennessy. Hennessy all the way in. Shot. Saved by Greenwald. Deflected in front. Still loose on front. Players still fighting for it. There's a scramble out in front of the net. And Greenwald scoops it up. And now will retreat behind his net and clear. Here comes Jordan Heckelman into the offensive end.
Salve's got to get their bodies back towards the middle of the zone here.
Heckelman back to Michael Utz. Utz slips his man, charges middle, shoots just wide of the net. Shot going out of bounds. And they still say Gordon ball. Gordon ball on the far side of the field. 5:56 to play here in the fourth quarter. Salve trailing 14-12.
That was good pursuit on that play by Rodrigo Hernandez, number 9 for Salve, not giving up on that ball.
And Salve Regina forces a turnover. Here comes Steven Russell. Steven Russell at midfield. Passes on up ahead. Ball comes to Holland Shade. Holland Shade trying to slip his man into the offensive end. He does. We'll pass to the far side. Nick Lachero finds Fee. Cam Brazil is wide up in front of the net. No one see it. James Fee driving middle, has the ball knocked away. It goes out of bounds, and they still say Salve ball. No one saw Cam Brazil standing in front of the net.
And Fee should have passed that. He sort of did like a fake pass and tried to drive it in towards the net. Missed opportunity there for the Seahawks.
McKeon spinning in the middle, winds up, shoots, blocked away in front, shot in front. Greenwald trying to scoop it up, and he does. And now a whistle and a foul on Gordon gives the ball right back to the Seahawks in the offensive zone. Lachero, pass to McKeon. McKeon back to Brazil. Brazil driving to his right, shuffles behind the net to Hollandshade. Ball loose on the ground, scooped up there by Backus. Backus, return to McKeon. McKeon driving strong to his right, cradling, underhanded shot, he scores! Low rising shot from Curtis McKeon, and the Seahawks are back within one.
Unbelievable shot by McKeon there, off balance, a little front roll, getting shoved off the ball. Beautiful concentration to put that in the back of the net.
14-13, 4:36 to go in the fourth. This game going down to the wire. Curtis McKeon wins the draw. McKeon scoops it up, shoves to the left. Lachero back to Fee. Fee shoots, saved by Greenwald.
And Fee blew that opportunity right there. He's sort of second-guessed himself on that shot. And that 1/2 second of second-guessing, Andrew. creates a missed opportunity. Good job by Gordon to push the ball towards their offensive end now off of that miscue by the Seahawks.
Sam Spellman. Ryan Utz holding behind the net. Spinning away from contact. Utz looking to work his way middle. And a foul being called. Penalty, delayed penalty on Salve Regina. Utz slips his man, tries to feed middle. Ball loose on the ground and scooped up by Spellman. All this coming with a delayed penalty. 3:40 to go in the fourth quarter. Spellman working to his right, trying to escape Parks. Spellman fires in front. The ball's loose on the ground. And finally, the refs blow the play dead. David Mavilla being called for the slash, and he'll have to take a seat for 60 seconds.
A 1-minute slash. Time of the penalty, 11:29.
3:31 to go here in the fourth quarter. Gordon clinging to a 1-point 14-13 lead on undefeated 7-0 Salve Regina.
Those are those tough penalties you just can't give up with under 4 minutes remaining in the game. Salve Regina cannot afford to be a man down here.
Heckelman on the far side, return to Evans. Now Michael Utz. Back to Evans. Heckelman on the right side, feeding behind the net to Ryan Utz. Jake Martin being pressured away. Ball knocked away, loose on the floor. Michael Utz picks it up, cradles away, evades two men, winds up, it's going to fire, saved by Watkins. And a long clear out near midfield is deflected, broken up, and taken by Gordon. Jake Martin feeds Ryan Utz. Ryan Utz on the right-hand side.
It was a bad clearing pass by Salve there, allowing Gordon to run some more time off the clock as well here.
Now Michael Utz moves to Roger Evans.
Scott's trying to nurse this 1-point lead here.
2:22 to play. Jordan Heckelman into the offensive end, trying to feed it right. That pass going wide, trickling out of bounds, and that'll be a turnover. Salve Regina can tie this game with this possession as we approach 2 minutes to play. Losing the ball on the far side was Alex Hennessy, and here come the Scots, feeding into the middle. Shot, scores! Jake Martin scores off the turnover. And it's 15-13 with 1:56 to play.
And Alex Hennessy got caught napping right there, Andrew. Gordon defender came right up behind him, knocked the ball out of his stick, caught Salve seriously in a man disadvantage. That's just a serious buzzkill here from the Salve Regina offense. Battled so hard for these past 3 minutes only to give away that turnover on the right side. That really has to hurt Hennessy.
They'll need 2 goals in under 2 minutes to try and tie this game. Seahawks 2 minutes away from losing their first game of this season. Ball loose on the ground, taken by Dominic Dantana. Now Peter Kovacevic. His pass too high, out of bounds, so Salve Regina will get it back. 1:38 to go.
Both these teams with late, uncharacteristic turnovers here. Something you would not expect in a 2-goal game. Must be emotions running high, nerves running high, and some passes running high as well.
1:30 to play. Stephen Russell spinning away from contact at midfield. Gordon player is down, writhing in pain. Meanwhile, Stephen Russell moves to Curtis McKeon. McKeon charging strong down the left side, shoots just wide to the right-hand side of the net, and it goes out of bounds. Still Salve ball. Michael Utz is limping. Salve Regina calls a timeout. We'll take it. 1:11 to play. Salve trailing by 2, in possession of the ball. Players return to the field. 1:11 to play. Salve Regina in possession, trailing by 2. Got to make something happen right here if you're the Seahawks. Dan Parks charging down the right-hand side. Tries to feed it in front. It's taken by Eric Backus. Eric Backus shot his shot wide and out of bounds. Salve with 56 seconds to play. Nick Lachero spinning away from contact, working his way to the front. Couldn't find Curtis McKeon. Hollandshade trying to go for the ball. Gets held and fouled. 49 seconds to play now. Hollandshade leading back out near midfield. Dan Parks. Parks driving strong to his right. Winds up, shoots, and he drives it just wide.
That was Salve's chance right there. Dan Parks, beautiful speed to get around the outside on that isolation.
40 seconds to play. Lachero weaving his way, spinning, falling to the ground, shooting, saved by Greenwald, behind the net, taken by Salve Regina, scooped up over again, trickling out of bounds. Gordon player goes for it. We have a whistle. And we have a foul going against Gordon. 35 seconds to play.